These two key photographs were taken in the two main refugee camps in 1980. The one on the left is an ocean of bamboo. They brought in tons and tons of bamboo, and the people themselves were building their own houses. 130,000 people were in Khao-I-Dang by May 1980. This one is Sakeo. There were 30,000 people in Sakeo at the time I was there. That's May 1980. It was established in October 24th, 1979. And most of the people in this camp were coming out with the Khmer Rouge. So when it was established, people were in very poor condition. By this time, things were getting much better, and they were enjoying a theatre show, a comedy show. Nearly the whole population was out there watching the comedy and laughing. I got to Thailand in April 1980, and by that time the situation was not nearly so bad as it had been the year before. So I was there at a time of optimism and a relatively happy time for the people who'd come out of Cambodia. On the border, there were 3 hamlets, all of them ruled by different warlords at different times. Nong Samet, Nong Chan, and Nong Mun. And Nong Samet was probably the busiest place. There were lots of people trading, black marketing, crossing from one side to the other. Lots of people. Nong Chan was a bit more stable, and so you could see hospitals and supplementary feeding centres being set up. There was a lot of competition between them. They shared one objective, and that was to drive the Vietnamese out of Cambodia. This is in Khao-I-Dang, and 2 people who had just arrived after a very difficult journey to the border and across the border. People had to pay a lot of money. It was very dangerous coming over the border. They had to pay off the bandits, and then they had to pay off the Thai military, and the only negotiable currency was often gold. But they were also finding time to enjoy themselves, and lots of imagination went into making toys. I think these were made for festivals originally. And they had a playground. Someone set up a playground. There were kids with trucks, toy trucks made from empty oil cans. Here we've got a mother and child who were watching the dance classes. There are always little girls at the gate selling baskets or pendants. This one is made from intravenous drip tubes from the hospital. And this area is all Khao-I-Dang. Many scenes of people preparing food, eating it, kids playing, and a meeting with Mahagosananda, the venerable patriarch who set up a temple in Khao-I-Dang, the first temple. And they were praying for peace. This is the other camp. This is Sakeo, the Khmer Rouge camp. More photographs of the Lakon Basak theatre show. Also a wedding, a Christian wedding, but the Khmer Rouge cadre is observing to make sure that everything goes well. They look a bit scared of this American missionary. Nong Mat Mun. Nong Mat Mun, when I arrived, it was supposed not to exist anymore. The Thai military had closed it, but it was there. There were plenty of people still, and they had a hospital with a guard who saluted when you went in, and it looked quite well organised, but there was no medicine in the hospital. We brought the medicine, but 2 or 3 weeks later the Vietnamese attacked Nong Mat Mun and completely destroyed the hospital. In Nong Chan, the Red Cross Hospital, most of the patients either suffering from malaria or gunshot wounds because of the frequent fighting on the border. Rare cases of malnutrition, not very frequent at this time. The year before, it had been a terrible situation, but the situation had improved a lot. A supplementary feeding centre in Nong Chan set up by CARE and UNICEF. Here we've got mothers and children waiting for nutritious food and big rice pots. And the rice was good. Also in Nong Chan, photographs pinned up on the board here. There were eventually 2,600 photographs of children who arrived in Nong Chan without parents, without adults. And they took their names, and it reminded me of Tul Sleng actually, except all these kids are smiling. And this idea worked. Out of 2,600 children, 1,953 found their parents. This was a special mission to a Khmer Rouge camp inside Cambodia, not far from the border. And UNICEF and Red Cross officials came in to meet the Khmer Rouge committee and talk about food and medicine delivery. It was a very, very muddy place. The truck got stuck. This area is all about the land bridge. The land bridge was the biggest operation of all the refugee operation. And they set up rice sheds, brought in hundreds of sacks of rice, and people waited in line to collect a sack and take it back into Cambodia. It was rice and rice seed. The idea was to motivate people to stay in Cambodia by giving them rice seed that they could plant, not to encourage them to come into Thailand. You can see the rice sheds here and the people carrying the sacks of rice over the river, which was the border, and back into Cambodia, a long line of people going back into Cambodia. Little girl with a sack of rice. And here, rainy days. It was the rainy season. So here we've got kids all wet with rain hats and having a shower in the rain and English books for sale the other side of the fence at the refugee camp. In Sakeo, the rain was a big problem. The water holes were flooded and there was a risk of cholera. So they had to move the whole site to a different location. Over here, finally, the dance classes in Khao-I-Dang. Big contrast between the little rich girl here and the not so rich girl. She certainly has attitude, but she has not the confidence, but very sensitive movements. And this dancer, Nut Rachana, was a palace dancer before the Khmer Rouge, and he set up dance classes in Nong Chan and then in Khao-I-Dang, and eventually went to America, where he set up, he was instrumental in starting the Cambodian ballet group in the United States. And he was dancing principal roles, but he was killed in a tragic car accident 2 years later in 1983. In the hospital, this was a new hospital, but it was empty. There were no beds or equipment yet. These photographs were all taken between May and September 1980, when the situation on the Thai border had stabilized. It was almost a year after Cambodians started crossing the border. And so they show a much more stable situation. People are smiling a lot in these photographs. And when I went back to England the next year, I made an exhibition of these photos in London. And I found I had to almost apologize. I had to explain why people were smiling. They were not expected to smile because they were refugees. You know, they had nothing. But they seemed to be enjoying life. And of course, the point is that relatively they were enjoying life. For the first time they had relative security, and they had enough to eat and enough to drink, and they had the opportunity, as far as the kids were concerned, to play and have a good time. So they did that as much as they could. So there are very few images here that are sad.